The topic I was asked to speak to is political campaign funding and the looming tsunami of poverty in Nigeria. The harsh lesson of history is that this is hardly the case. Fair elections is a mere camouflage for a process that looks more like a bazaar or casino, where those with larger wallets and access to the necessities of life are more likely to carry the day as against those with superior ideas, better manifestos, and more interesting Weltanschauung, but lean pockets and material resources and wherewithal. However, before Nigerians are led to the slaughter slab, perhaps they should at least be made aware of the emptiness of the ground rules for the struggle of power between and among the various factions and fractions of the Nigerian governing class. What then constitutes the ground rules for political contestation in Nigeria? To what extent can or will the various actors be considered as being ready, willing, and able to play according to the rules? Is there any redeeming honor at all among them concerning fairness and restraint in the face of mass poverty, want, and hunger in the land? The answers to these and related issues, it seems, should be the focus of today's engagement. Unlike in advanced political systems, where the ruling classes operate behind a veneer of shared values, the Nigerian political system is up for grabs, as there is a glaring lack of consensus among the contestants regarding the primary and secondary contradictions in society. We therefore renders the struggle for power a do or die or winner takes all matter in a no-holds-barred fashion in relation to the contest as well as appropriation of the ensuing spoils of battle. It is indeed a war of every political party for itself, while the devil takes the hindermost. Accordingly, political parties in our own environment constitute a severe problem of choice for the electorate, who are invariably faced with the difficulty of choosing between Tweedledee and Tweedledum. The consequence of this is a deep sense of frustration, alienation, and cynicism among the generality of the population, who are now compelled to make resorts to prayer houses and miracle centers in their quest for liberation and betterment of their existential condition. However, since the road to hell is said to be paved with good intentions, it has been necessary and desirable that curbs be put on the propensity of the rich, powerful, and famous to procure public office through their deep pockets and long purses. It must be admitted that what we have is a plutocracy masquerading as a democracy. Plutocracy is the government by the rich for the rich and in the interest of the rich. That's what you call a plutocracy. Indeed, it is no exaggeration to aver that democracy as we have it seems to be operated by those who are really not committed or convinced Democrats and who do not give a damn about the triumph of the popular will over arbitrariness and chicanery. To the extent that the election umpire appears incapacitated and unable to rein in the enemies of the open society, free choice, and the sanctity of the ballot, to that extent will it be said that the nation is on a roller coaster to doom and perdition. I now come to poverty of the Nigerian people and poverty of democracy, Nigeria style. The depressing state of human existence is so well known to warrant recounting here. Suffice it to say that Nigeria is second only to India in infant mortality and maternal morbidity. Our deficit in terms of housing is over 80 million. Over 80 million Nigerians have no good housing. However, we know that 10.5 million young Nigerians are at present outside the school system. The majority of the population live below the poverty line, and numerous people go to bed hungry, and lack access to Medicare is not one that should continue to celebrate physical and mental underdevelopment of both the nation as well as the people. Nigeria's disarticulate economy. A disarticulate economy is an economy that consumes what it does not produce and produces what it does not consume. It only ensures that Nigeria and Nigerians remain in the quagmire of underdevelopment, abject poverty, crass ignorance, unbelievable squalor, and endemic disease. The monocultural economy, now confronted by dwindling petroleum oil prices to a crippled capital market and devalued currency, as well as skyrocketing foreign exchange rates, mean that there can be no light at the end of the tunnel. Indeed, it is no exaggeration to say that things are most likely to get a lot worse before they can ever hope to get better. When all this is added to an electoral process that ensures that the people with the largest purses carry the day, it becomes obvious that the generality of the people have little choice than to take their common destiny in their own hands, if they do not wish to perish and be inflicted with more of the same. The unthinkable can only be avoided if only the people do not experience a corrosive sense of injustice in the choice of those to preside over the affairs of the country in the years ahead. Today, Nigeria is evidently at a crossroads. The forces of the status quo are confronted by those crying for change. The epic battle promises to be quite interesting and momentous. What cannot be said with certainty is whether or not the power of money and incumbency will triumph over promises of efficiency, integrity, good government, and containment of the raging insurgency. In the final analysis, however, we might just have to fall back on that well-worn notion of Joseph the Master: a people get the government they deserve. I thank you very much.